Hey, what's up, Market Moose? Mike from the Moose on the Loose. How are you today? Today's a big day. It's the beginning of the Canadian Financial Summit, where I do have an interview with Cal that is going to actually be on the 23rd or the 24th. Anyways, Canadian Financial Summit, the place where you get a bunch of free information. It's a virtual summit where there are like plenty of great guests. So you can go there, get your free tickets at dividendstocksrock.com/financial-submit. So financial-submit. I am a sponsor with Retirement Loop on that as well. So I've been on that summit since the very beginning. I think it's been like 6-7 years. Anyways, great financial summit and a lot of great financial advice you're going to find out. And today's episode is actually about terrible financial advice that I followed over the years that actually I don't regret. So I just want to make sure today it's a fun episode. Please do not take that to the first degree. Please think about it, add some context, and do not take that as financial advice. I mean, that's the point. I cannot make a bigger disclaimer about it. But anyways, so 6 terrible financial advice that actually worked out for me. So the first one is actually take a sabbatical in your 30s. Financially, completely a disaster. At the age of 35, I stopped working completely, rented my house, bought a small RV, my wife, 3 kids, off we go, a full year on the RV, traveling across North America, Mexico, and then 7 months in Central America. I lived in a villa in Costa Rica for 3 months, including in this, and then I came back from the East Coast. I visited like amazing places, spent like 24/7 with the most important people in my life. So personal decision, the best one ever. Financial one, I mean, I put my job on hold. I did not invest. Actually, the whole trip cost me about $84,000, including the RV and everything. And I'm not including the money I didn't make on that year. Because of course, on the other side, it helped me finding the courage to quit my job as a private banker and focus on my online business. So today I'm super happy that I took that decision for 2 reasons. The first one is upon I came back, I could have died on that day and I would have been happy. Happy in a sense that I've done so much on that year. It transformed my life. It created bonds with my wife and my 3 children that cannot be replicated in any sense. So personally, best decision of my life. Financially, definitely not a good one, but eventually grew up into building my business. And then today, here I am 8 years later, a lot more free of time than I was before. And I mean, doing okay financially. So that was good. Second terrible financial advice that I've followed, don't budget. Kind of crazy. When I was younger, like a lot younger, it's my 20s, I had a budget, I followed it, I had a plan. And after that, I decided to skip the budget altogether, finding myself being a lot better at growing my income or my sources of income because I work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, having a side gig, creating a business, instead of trying to minimizing my expenses. The first thing that I followed, though, that was a good advice that kind of like compensated for the lack of budgeting is pay yourself first. So I always focused on putting money aside at all time. I mean, over the past few years, it was more focused on reinvesting the money into Dividend stocks rock and then creating a retirement loop not too long ago. But before that, it was contributing maximum to my RSP and so on. So that was like the way that I did it, but I never tracked my expenses. So I never budgeted. Number 3, don't cut expenses, grow your income. So again, not good at being frugal. So I decided to not try to minimize my expenses when I was tight on my, like not the budget, but I mean, when you look at your bank account, you don't want to go in the red. You don't want to live on your line of credit or your credit cards for obvious reasons. So instead of like trying to cut down my expenses, I always thought, well, it's time to create a new product, work a little bit more hours, get a promotion, get a higher bonus, develop a side gig, whatever, but always focus on growing the income instead of like cutting down the expenses. Of course, if I had cut my expenses, I could have done a few things different, probably have a little bit more money on the side, but that would have been less interesting, right? It would have been less fun to live. And I'm all about living now, so I don't regret that path either. But again, that's not financial advice, and I don't recommend doing those things because I don't know your situation. Number 4, don't pay your house. I know, super counterintuitive. A lot of people focus on paying their house as soon as possible. And I did the opposite. I tried to put minimum payments as long as possible on my mortgage. The reason being, I thought it was a lot better investment to invest in my business, to travel around the world, and to create those memories with my family instead of focusing on paying down my house. So people could say easily, Mike, that's stupid. If your business goes bankrupt tomorrow morning, you're going to take a big hit. You're going to lose your house and so on. All right, fair enough. I don't have any argument for that. But what I can tell you is I created a lot of super important moments. And today I'm at a place where, since I invested massively in my business, I'd probably be able to turn things around in the next few years and focus on paying down my house a lot faster because of those moves. But for the past 15 years, I really focused on taking care of my family, having a lot of fun instead, and I'm really happy that I did that. Another one that is counterintuitive, once again, trying to die with $0. And yes, I read that book not too long ago, and that actually just convinced me to press down the pedal a little bit further. But I already had that in mind. I was already a big fan of like enjoying life now with the people that I love while I'm alive. And I always told my children, it's been like several years, I'm telling them, do not expect to have any inheritance. Like, there's nothing left when I die. Well, actually, hopefully. But the point is really to enjoy those moments with them today, help them out in their teenager years and now in their 20s to build their life, instead of having them wait for me to die. And maybe they're going to wait until they are like 65, and then they're going to receive like $500,000 and they're going to be happy. I mean, if you have not made your retirement at the age of 65 by yourself, what's $500,000 or $1 million at that point? Not too sure. So again, trying to die with zero, super important. And finally, living now. Terrible financial advice, very good personally and emotionally. And I believe that if you're trying to get a balance here, that's probably better. What I did that made it all possible, though, is during my 20s, I had 2 jobs, plus I was developing a side business. Having a business, working a job during weekends, and working a full-time job at the bank for like all my 20s, that helped me to maximize my savings, invest really early on. And then I was able to make different types of choices. And that has helped me a lot to live now in my 30s. And now I'm like mid 40s, still doing this. And I'm contemplating like the moment that I'll be 50, which is going to be a whole new playground for me because all my children will be adults by that time. So it's going to be time to think about like not retirement, because I don't want to stop what most people call working, because I'm having a lot of fun doing that. So I'm not ready to stop playing that game, if I could put it that way, but definitely change the rules of my game at this point. So it's going to be quite interesting. So anyways, speaking of retirement, I actually talk about how to maximize your retirement, how to deal with a defined pension plan, using several different strategies. So you want to watch this interview that I made for the Financial Summit. So once again, you can register for free, 100% free, at dividendstocksrock.com/financial-summit. So Financial Summit, there you go. And you'll be able to get your free tickets. Nothing here to be paid. You only have to pay if you want to have like the VIP pass, but you don't have to. So, all right, Moose, that's enough for today. Tomorrow we are going to talk a little bit more about the financial summit. We're going to talk about what is inside that summit. So it's going to be a lot of very interesting. And until then, don't forget to stay invested.